Well, hello and welcome back everybody. I am Dan and today we've got just a little bit of a different video for you. This is a Christmas tree. As you can tell, this is a little fat Santa. Both of these items I got from my wife and placed in here to make it a little more festive because of the holidays just around the corner. This is a Crown and Coke because one, it is my birthday, and number two, today has been an absolutely batshit crazy day. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that in this video, and then what I thought I would do is go through some comments that I've got in the last 4 or 5 videos and just run through some comments, answer some questions, address some comments, and just get a video out of an otherwise crazy day. So where do we begin here? This is a little bit different, like I said, than what we do here, guys, but I thought it would be fun. So it is actually Saturday. Today is my birthday. I'm turning 36 today, or I turned 36 today. And I started off the day like a normal day. I got up and I slept a little bit late. I got up about 9 o'clock, which is a little later than usual. And my plans for today was to get at least the majority of the Fanatic V3 pedal review done for you guys. And that was the plan. But if any of you saw my community post, the day did not go as planned. So basically, I got up this morning, rearranged some stuff to make it better for filming, got out my brand new, like 2 or 3 week old camera, which is the 4K Sony AX53 camcorder that I thought I was going to be using for a long time. And I got about half of my B-roll footage filmed. I filmed for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half or something like that. Like I said, about half of my B-roll footage, and all of a sudden the camera stopped working. And it popped up a little message, something about the memory card, and I was like, well, maybe I bumped the camera and the memory card came out or something like that. So I pulled the memory card out, put the memory card back in, that didn't work. Turned the camera off, turned it back on, that didn't work. Tried a bunch of stuff, it wouldn't work. And then finally this message popped up that said, you know, something is wrong with your memory. Do you want to reformat it? Yes or no? And I said, well, maybe that's what the problem is. Maybe it needs to be reformatted. I know I'm going to lose a bunch of stuff, but I need the camera to work, you know, because by this time it was probably 12, 1, maybe even 2 o'clock. And, you know, I was well into filming and I needed to get this thing done. So anyways, long story short, I reformatted the card, lost everything on the card, and it didn't fix the camera. So at this point, I was pretty annoyed, as you may be able to tell, and just was kind of over it. Now, a little backstory here. I used to do photography on the side. Not for profit, just for fun. I just did photography on the side, and I use Nikon cameras. Nikons are really good for photography. Now, they also do film video as well, but they're not as good as Canons and Sonys and stuff for video. So when I decided to up the game a little bit, up the quality in the recording end of YouTube for this channel, I decided to go out and get something that would be both good quality and easy to use. Well, I went through 2 camcorders because camcorders are kind of plug and play. You just charge them up, point them at what you want to record, hit the button, and they start recording, and they're supposed to work flawlessly. Well, the first one that I got did work pretty good. But the quality just wasn't what I wanted. So I kept it about 2 weeks. I actually filmed 1 video with it. I filmed I can't remember exactly which one it was, but it was like 3 videos ago, maybe 4 videos ago. But it worked out okay, but the quality of my face, it had kind of bad low light performance. So after you edit it, after you upload it to YouTube, it kind of killed a lot of the quality. So I said, let me get a 4K camera. So I brought that one back. I bought the AX53, which is nearly $1,000, guys. You know, it's like $999. I think I got it on sale for $799 for Black Friday, but it's like $1,000 camera. And it literally worked for 2 weeks because it stopped working today. So my frustration with camcorders, I was done with camcorders. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. So basically I went to Best Buy today. We spent most of the day at Best Buy convincing them that there was something wrong with the camcorder. I ended up swapping it out for what I'm currently using now. So the camcorder was 4K. I did go back to 1080p, but now I am using a Canon DSLR, which my roots, because of photography, go back to DSLR. So this Canon should produce fairly good quality, all while being 1080p instead of 4K. That's one of the sacrifices that you have to go to unless you spend thousands on a DSLR, which I'm not going to do that. This one was roughly the same price as the camcorder. It's a T7i, Canon T7i, and they have super good autofocus and all this stuff. Plus, I'm pretty familiar with how DSLRs work. The only issue with this kind of camera as opposed to a camcorder is there is a little bit of setup prior to making the videos. And then on top of that, you have to set up initially, and then you're limited to how long you can film, where a camcorder can go for, you know, as long as the battery will hold up basically, and if you have a large enough memory card, you can film literally for hours. A camera like this Canon will only film literally for 29 minutes and 97 seconds. They are limited because of the type of camera that they are, that they can only record basically for 30 minutes. So that's a limitation. Most of the time we won't hit that limitation, but if I do, you know, I'll just have to kind of stop the video and start back over. Anyways, DSLRs are made to be durable. They typically don't have any problems, and I was just ready to go back with something that I wasn't gonna have any issues with and that would have good autofocus and that I was familiar with. So basically, long story short, all day today, I was dealing with a broken camera, trying to return the broken camera, which they really didn't want to take to begin with because I was out. I got it from Best Buy, and there's like a 15-day window. Technically, I was outside of that 15-day window. So I had to convince them what was wrong with it. It was just kind of a whole kind of thing. But at the end of the day, we ended up leaving with this camera. I charged it. This is my first Canon camera, so I spent an hour or two looking at the settings, trying to get everything set up, familiarize myself with this kind of camera and all that good stuff. And I know this is not a camera channel. This is a sim racing channel, and I will get to these comments first, guys, but I kind of wanted to get a little sip of this here. I kind of wanted to give you an update of what the heck happened today and why more than likely the pedal review is probably not going to come out this weekend. More than likely the pedal review will be next weekend or maybe sometime next week if I can find some time to do it. So I apologize to all of you who were waiting for that. That's what happened. But I wanted to get you some kind of content out this weekend. So that's why I decided I would dress up in some festivities here, some Christmas cheer, and go through some comments that I pulled from like my last 3-4 videos or so. So I guess we'll go ahead and get into that. I think we've been going for probably close to 10 minutes now, so I don't want to run this too long and risk the camera shutting off. But anyways, that's been my day so far. Wanted to get something up before I went to bed, or at least get it ready to edit for tomorrow, which will be Sunday. So what we're going to do here is I've got some screenshots, guys. I'm not going to edit these onto the video. I'm just not into that today. That's not going to happen. Basically, I'll read the comment to you, say who it was from, give you a little backstory, and answer it or address it. So this first comment is from, let me make sure it is the first one. Yep, it is. So this is from Ace Meeps. This was actually 5 days ago. Hey Dan, great review. AccuForce V2 owner here as well, and I'm wondering if you could do a tutorial on Sim Commander and how to create a good profile for a variety of cars, open wheel, GT, legacy, etc. A lot of people talk about the hardware, but there is virtually nothing on the software, which is arguably the most important. So what he is talking about, excuse me, and he actually commented on my AccuForce first look video, the last one I uploaded. I'm pretty sure that's what it was from. And he is correct. There is not a whole lot of information out yet that I can find on the AccuForce software, but actually Sim Experience has a YouTube channel. And if you just YouTube Sim Experience, they have got a lot of content on the software and a lot of their products too. So you can, that's actually, if you're familiar with Inside Sim Racing, Darren Ganji from Inside Sim Racing, he is actually the face behind a lot of that content. And it's very, very helpful. It's where I've gone quite a bit to learn things I couldn't get figured out with the software. But Yes, the answer to your question is yes. I do plan on doing a tutorial when I feel like I know enough to teach people about it. I know quite a bit about it now already. I've learned a lot in the week or so that I've had it, 2 weeks now. I have learned quite a bit. But the thing is, I think to teach something to somebody, you really need to know a lot more than what I know right now. So I'm going to spend probably this holiday, I've got a lot of time off from work. So I'll really be dialing in my wheel and my software over this holiday. And then, so when we get back, probably first of the year or something like that, I will I will do a tutorial on how to get the most out of the software. That'll be coming. So, Vito Agello. As a complete novice, nobody explains how you physically hook up your phone to your PS4 or computer so it interfaces with your particular system. Could someone tell me how this works? What this guy is talking about is when I did the video of the sim dashboard. So you use a phone or a tablet as a tachometer or a dash or a button box. And what he's asking is, what's the physical process of connecting your phone to the computer? Now, there's 2 ways of doing this. He saw that I had a USB cable connected to my phone and it had a USB wire running off where he couldn't see it. Now, in that video, the only reason why I had that hooked up was simply to power my phone to make sure it wouldn't run out. There was no information going through that USB connection. However, you can just use a USB connection and you can send the information through the USB cord, and there's ways to set that up. However, especially with the Sim Dashboard app, it's much easier just to use your in-home Wi-Fi. Most people have Wi-Fi these days. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody who didn't have a Wi-Fi to get your internet from wherever the modem is to the rest of your house. And most of these applications take use of your Wi-Fi. And basically, the software itself that you download on your computer and the application, they talk to each other following a very simple instruction through your Wi-Fi, and all the setup is basically automatic, and all you have to do is make sure that your phone is connected to the Wi-Fi that you're using and that your computer is connected to that same network, whether it's wired in or wireless, it does not matter. They just need to both be talking to the Wi-Fi, and that's how they talk to each other. I believe it works the same for Xbox and a PlayStation, but I have not personally tried it myself, so I can't confirm that to be sure. So that's what he was talking about with that. Let's go on to the next one here. All right, so this is from I'm assuming was a female, Sarah Horton. And she says, this game made me go out and buy a Thrustmaster TMX. It made me want to get into sim racing at some point, but I need practice. So the video she is referring to, or the game that she's referring to, is Forza Horizon 4, because I did a video on my thoughts on Forza Horizon 4. Now, I know a lot of sim racers do not like games like the Horizon series, because it's definitely an arcade-style game. That being said, though, I do think there is an importance to games like Forza Horizon, Test Drive Unlimited, even though it's very old. You know, all those games we consider, even Need for Speed, even something as far as Need for Speed, I consider those games important because they are like a gateway drug to what I consider actual sim racing, your iRacings, your Assetto courses, your race rooms, things like that. But nobody really just jumps right into Assetto Corsa or jumps right into iRacing. They typically did something else first. A lot of times it's like a game like Forza Horizon 4, Forza Horizon 3, even Forza Motorsports. And, you know, those are really important games that really do, you know, they work as a gateway drug, basically, or a gateway racing game to get people into sim racing. So I do think that there's definitely an importance to that. Okay, Kimmy Hunt, which I'm assuming is also a female, not that it matters, but I've used Thrustmaster since 2012, never had a problem with it. So what he's referring to is my Thrustmaster Stop Being Stupid video. So I've used Thrustmaster since 2012, never had a problem with it. So I wasn't really referring in that video to the mechanics in the wheels or the physical, how long the components last. I was referring to their sales tactics, what they've been doing recently as far as not allowing you to buy a certain rim by itself if you want to. They're forcing you to buy some kind of package just so they sell the wheelbase too. So relatively speaking, I've had a good relationship with Thrustmaster, and I've liked most of their products. Now that being said, I did have 2 Thrustmaster TX wheelbases go bad. And the second time one went bad, that was the whole reason I upgraded to the Thrustmaster TSPC Racer, which I have not had any issues with. And even though I've replaced it technically with my AccuForce, the Thrustmaster TSPC Racer is still sitting over here, and I'm going to put it on an additional rig, and I'm sure I'll get many years out of that. So I do like Thrustmaster products. I don't have a particular problem with their products per se, more so an annoyance with their sales tactics. Okay, here's another one, kind of the similar thing. Larry Love says, stop crying and go to Fanatic. Same story here. He was talking about me complaining about Thrustmaster's problems. And yeah, he is right. And I kind of partially went to Fanatic. I mean, I have their pedals. I have the V3 pedals. I'm not really brand loyal in anything. I'm not brand loyal to vehicles. I'm not brand loyal to sim racing gear. I simply will buy the products that I think are good at a good price. For example, you guys will find out that I think that the Fanatic V3 pedals are a good price for what you get out of them, which is why I purchased them. You know, so it's not particularly the brand itself. I know Fanatic has great stuff, but if I was going to spend Fanatic money, I was definitely going to go to a direct drive, and I wanted a direct drive that was available today. I don't want to wait to this undisclosed time. We really don't know when the Fanatic direct drive will be available. I knew the AccuForce is available now. That's why I went with it. So nothing wrong with Fanatic. I just, you know. So Ryan Wall, what is the camera and the mic you're using for this video? Thanks and can't wait for more vids. So the actual video that I took this from was the, let's see. Okay, so yeah, I know what it was. So this came from the video where I did the room update, where I told you that I was, it was like 3-4 videos ago where I was telling you guys I was almost done setting up the room. And I was telling you guys my plans of having triple monitors and all that. If you go back, you can find that video. And quite honestly, the camera I was using in that video, because at that time I was still doing research on what camera I wanted to pick up. I didn't know what I was going to buy then yet. So honestly, the camera I was using in that video, which was very good quality, was actually the camera in this phone here. And this is a Galaxy S9 Plus. So it was just the built-in camera on this phone. And I would have continued to use this, except for number one, I wanted to be able to see, the camera works good on this, but you don't have a flip out screen to frame your shot like I do with this camera. I want to be able to frame my shot. I want to see it ahead of time. I want to see it while I'm filming it. I want to see while I'm in it. And also, sometimes even with a really good memory card, you have frame drops. So if you're considering to get a Galaxy S9, this is a great phone and it has a great camera, but I do have this problem with frame drops occasionally, and I can't figure out why that is, but it is annoying. And you can actually see that if you go to my AccuForce unboxing, the camera that I had over here pointing down at the bottom of the box, that I did a lot of that unboxing with, the second camera I would say, I used this for that, and there were a lot of spots in there where I had quite a bit of frame drops. So that's somewhere you can see it. Otherwise, this is a really good phone. All right, I think I have got a bunch of these guys, but I'm just going to keep on running through them, try to finish it up. All right, this is from Scuderia Bazane. Sorry if I'm butchering that. Dan, thanks for the review. I was evaluating this piece a while ago. I'm curious, especially about a weight. So what Scuderia Bazan is talking about here, he's talking about the sim racing hardware dashboard that I did a review for about a month ago or so. The Sim Racing dashboard by, it's by Sim Racing Hardware, and it's the Sim Racing Dash. They make them compatible for many, many wheels. The one that I bought is specific to the TSPC Racer. Currently, I'm trying to figure out how to get that off of there and mount it to my AccuForce. So I'm working on that behind the scenes. Probably just have to drill some new holes, do some adjustments. But his question was, I'm especially curious about the weight. Now, I was overwhelmed at how many people asked me about the weight. And I neglected to put the weight of this item in the video. And I probably should have, because it was a review video. But I don't know the exact weight. And I didn't put it on a scale. When I got the component, I was so excited. I got it in here and I mounted it up ASAP. And I didn't even think about getting a weight. I just wanted to be able to use it. But if I had to guess, it's like 5 pounds, 6 pounds maybe at the most. So, excuse me, it really is not heavy enough at all to affect anything. Like when I had it on my TSPC Racer on my GT Omega ART rig, it was just like having none up there. I mean, I couldn't tell it was up there. It's not heavy. There was someone else, and I tried to find this comment, someone else, they had asked me the same thing, and that was because they have one of those rigs, and I can't remember the brand, but there's a rig that either folds up or maybe the wheelbase kind of swings up so you can get in and out of it. I think it's one of those formula style rigs. And so he was asking me about the weight, how heavy is it, because you actually swing the wheelbase up. And so it's not that heavy, but a little tip here, if you ever plan on going to a direct drive wheel, that swinging mechanism is not going to work because the electric motors in a direct drive wheel are really, really heavy. So you're not going to, you can heave-ho it up, but you're not going to want to do that. So we'll keep on going here. Charles Childers. It is your hobby. The only thing that counts. Oh, okay, here we go. So let me preface this a little bit. This guy is commenting on my why I went back to triple monitors video. So 2 videos back, I believe, maybe 3 videos back. I stopped using VR for the most part. I still have an Oculus Rift. I stopped using VR and I went back to using triple monitors. That is what he's referring to. In the comments of that video, there was a huge heated debate. And personally, I wasn't saying you should do one thing or the other. If you like VR, great. If you like triple monitors, that's awesome too. Whatever you like, that's great. I was just giving my opinion, or not even an opinion. I was giving my reasons on why I went back from VR to triple monitors. But this guy basically gave his explanation of why he likes VR, and his explanation is great and is very valid. But the reason why I actually saved his comment here is not about the VR part at all. It's the first 2 phrases here. So now or actually just the first sentence here, and I'll read it to you now. So again, this was Charles Childers. It is your hobby. The only thing that counts is you enjoy it. It is your hobby. The only thing that counts is you enjoy it. Strong words here. I have tried for many years to emphasize that as I make videos. I try not to tell somebody that you should do this or you shouldn't do that. I just kind of give you my opinion, why I did what I did. But I always try to portray it in a way of saying, make sure you do your research, make sure you do your homework, and make sure that you choose the things that are going to be right for you. Because this point is perfect. I mean, it is going to be your hobby. And the only thing that matters, the only thing that is important is that you enjoy what you are doing. And for you to enjoy the hobby that we have, this sim racing hobby, you have to be using the components that you like, the brands that you like, playing the games that you like, the sims you like. You know, you have to make sure that this is something that you are enjoying, or it's not going to be fun. And at the end of the day, it just needs to be fun. And Charles here is exactly right. It is your hobby. The only thing that counts is that you enjoy it. So that's why I saved this. If you want to look, you can go on that video. He does go on explaining some other things of why he likes VR, and they are very, very valid. Okay, guys, so now we are going to continue on here, and these are going to be a few more comments dealing with the VR video, because that's one of my highest viewed videos in a while. I think that thing's got well over 10,000, may even be close to 15,000. I don't know. It's got a lot of views and it's only been up for a couple of weeks. So it is really obvious that VR versus triple monitors is a huge hot topic right now. And it's because both, regardless of which way you go, you're spending a lot of money, and it takes a lot of hardware to run either of those options. So it's really important, and there are a lot of people that obviously from the comments feel very strongly one way or another. And that's why I made that video, was to cause a stir and create conversation and have people talking about it. Because the more people talk about these controversies or whatever, these ideas, you know, the more information is out there. So that's why I made the video. So even though there's some crazy comments on there, I love them all. They're really, really good. This is not one of them. This is a legit comment, but this is where this is coming from. So, Ivan the Terrible, your very last argument about peripheral vision is crap. He uses a different word. I'm going to say crap. VR is the real deal. It's how it works in the real world. You have to look. So what he's referring to here is, I made the point very strongly that when you're using a virtual reality headset, to get to your peripheral vision, you have to look, physically move your head. You know what I mean? Like you really, I know that there are some virtual reality headsets out there now that have a slightly wider field of view, but the Oculus has got about, it's this much. You can't see outside of this. And so what I was saying is that you have to do this physically to look around. Excuse me. And he's saying that you have to do that in the real world. What he's referring to is the fact that if you're racing in the real world, you have to wear a helmet. So you physically have to do that. He's saying with a helmet on, you have to look around. Here's the thing though. I've had many cars and done many track days. I've also done many track days, real world track days on motorcycles. Both times, you know, both of those events, you have to wear a helmet. I also have ridden motorcycles since I was 18 years old. I turned 36 today, and I was riding dirt bikes before that. So the thing about it is, you know, you don't know, you do kind of have to turn your head, but even with a helmet on, there's a certain amount of peripheral vision you can see just by turning your eyes, even with a helmet on. So I can kind of understand his argument here, but I kind of can't, because I've done both, guys. I've done it in the real world and I've done it in simulation racing, and just where VR is right now, except for maybe the cutting edge virtual reality headsets that are just coming out and we really don't know much about with a slightly wider field of view, you do have to turn your head to see that peripheral vision. Whereas even with a helmet on a track day, when I'm driving a car, if I'm driving my personal car out there, which I can take to a track day right now, I have helmets and I can do it. I have done it. I can see apexes coming up out of my helmet just by moving my eyes. Whereas in virtual reality, you get even less of that and you have to move your head. If virtual reality ever gets to the point where it has eye tracking, it'll be different. You know what I mean? That's what we need. We need eye tracking to go along with virtual reality, and then you'll really be in business. And at that point, then I will really, really, definitely, at least part of the time, jump into virtual reality. But that's what Ivan the Terrible is talking about there. To a point, he has an opinion, but I still stand by what I said in the video. Oh, so this is who was trying to get in the door. All right, so don't drink that. Please don't drink that. So this goes back to, you had enough, you checked it out, now you're gone. There's another one. Oh, everybody's coming in. Come here. Anyways. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. So this is the same thing here, guys. Same video. This is another comment on the VR video. So this was from a Brian Jones, and this one's kind of long, but I'll read through the whole thing. So Brian Jones says, "It ruins your immersion, question mark. The VR set is hot and heavy, question mark. You mean like a helmet and a fire suit, question mark. And you sweat and it's physically difficult, question mark. You mean like night stint 24 hours of Le Mans prototype drivers burning 800 calories per hour, question mark." And it goes on and on and on and on. He's got a bunch of questions basically relating my views on virtual reality being uncomfortable to real world racing. He is exactly right. He is correct. Racing in the real world is very uncomfortable. I could go outside right now, grab my helmet from in the closet that's right beside me, get in my car, drive up to VIR, which is like 2 hours away, and I could do a track day. And it would be hot because they won't let you turn your air conditioning on. It would be uncomfortable because I'd have a helmet. It would be bumpier. It would be way, way more uncomfortable for sure. If I was in my real car, I could take, I have a car out in the driveway, literally. If I wanted to do that, I could get my helmet, hop in my ST, go to a track day. I'd have a lot of fun. It would be more realistic. Yes, it would be hot. Yes, I would be sweaty. I have that option. My point behind this is not that it's not realistic. I'm not saying that having the VR headset on is not realistic. I know it's more realistic, but it is uncomfortable. I've got the choice. I can either get in my car and go do it for real, or I can do it here in the comfort of my own house, in my boxers if I wanted to, in a more comfortable environment. So I don't need that realism. I don't need that sweatiness of VR because I'm not necessarily looking for that. I'm looking for realism to a point at my house. If I want to go beyond that point, I'll grab my helmet, like I said, hop in my car, go up to VIR, or drive down to Florida, or go to a track day, because I have that option too. Now, I know a lot of people don't have that option. I understand that. So they're wanting to get the most immersion possible, and they, like this guy, Mr. Brian Jones, I understand. He wants that immersion, and that's perfectly fine. VR is probably the way to go for him because it will give you that immersion. So, that's just my 2 cents on that. The funny thing about virtual reality is no one's ever going to agree. If you go back about 2 years ago, guys, I did a video. I was one of the first people to do a video on why I thought VR was going to be the future of sim racing. And to a point, I still think that. I still think that virtual reality will have a huge part of sim racing in the future. But I just don't think it's getting developed fast enough for that to be true right now. And it's definitely not enough for me to use that all the time. Now, I do still have a virtual reality headset, and I may use it from time to time. But at this moment in time, currently, I just prefer using the triple monitors. If you do not, that's fine. All right, same video here. This is the other side of the fence here, guys. This guy's kind of saying what I was saying. I don't get why so many dislikes, because that virtual reality video's got, I don't know, several hundred dislikes, I think. It's my most disliked video of all time. It also has double the amount of likes. So, I mean, a lot of people liked it. A lot of people disliked it. I think it's, something like 400 likes, 200 dislikes, something like that. I haven't checked in a while. But this guy's talking about the dislikes. I don't get why there's so many dislikes. If you're a VR person, cool. This video is not bashing you or telling you you're wrong. It's just explaining why someone would drop it from monitors. I appreciate the points that he has made as someone who is considering VR. It won't stop me from considering it, but I'm glad I know these things before I make the purchase. And so this guy is correct. This is what I was trying to say. If you want to go VR, you can still go VR. A completely valid way to go for sim racing. It definitely is more immersive. It 100%. A lot of people thought that I was saying it was not as immersive. It's definitely more immersive. There's no doubt about that. But the negatives for me outweigh the positives, including that additional immersion, which is why I went with monitors. And this guy's basically saying, he's just giving you his opinion, which I was. You don't have to like it. And that's the land of YouTube, so that's fine with me. I actually get a big kick out of the negative comments. I think they're pretty funny, actually. Speaking of that, this is probably one of the funniest comments I read on that entire video, so I wanted to add it in for this video. So, this is Willie Nelson, apparently. And again, he's commenting on the video that I was talking about why I went from VR to triple monitors, and I had several valid reasons of why I thought triple monitors are a better, just work better for me than virtual reality. And not once did I say anything about why virtual reality is better other than the immersion. But anyways, basically I was making a video 100% towards monitors, and Willie Nelson's reply was, "Your reasons are so accurate and have helped me decide that I will get VR, LOL." So this was pretty funny to me because this guy was basically saying my video was so convincing in the wrong direction that he decided to go with VR instead of with monitors. And I got a kick out of that. I thought that was funny. I really did. Like I said, I think the negative comments are pretty funny. Okay. So I am not going to try to pronounce this name because I will butcher it, but he's got a really good question here. And so he says, I believe it's a he, might be a female. So, "Help me, man. I race on Xbox. I want to get in PC. What video card do I need to run Assetto Corsa and Project Cars 2 in 1080p flawless with 3 screens?" Now, I get these questions a lot. Now, flawless has many meanings. And when you're talking about the PC, we also have to take into consideration, are you saying flawless at 60 FPS? Are you going to be using 60 hertz monitors? Is that the maximum refresh rate that you need? Or are you saying flawless, I want well over 100 hertz? For example, I run every game at 144 plus. Because I want that higher refresh rate. I feel like it gives you a smoother gameplay. So the first question we have to answer is, what is your goal? What does flawless mean to you? And I'd say with current generation games and current generation hardware on the PC, for Assetto Corsa, which is a relatively easy game to push, it's not very hard. Project Cars is a little harder on the system, but it's pretty easy to run also. I would say if you're just wanting to run in surround 60 FPS for triple monitors, I think you could get away with something like a 1070, GTX 1070. I almost think you might even be able to drop down to a 1060 or a 980 Ti. So I think that those are going to get you 60 FPS, 60 hertz. If that's the monitors you're going to use, you'll be fine. Now, if flawless to you, it means what it means to me, and that is maximum frames per second, highest frame rate that we can possibly get, then you really need to go big. And for example, my system now has a GTX 1080 Ti and triple screens at 1080p. I can run Assetto Corsa at the capped maximum frame rate of 200 frames per second. And in Project Cars, it fluctuates depending on how many cars are on the track and you know, the volume of things on the side of the track, stands, people, things like that. It fluctuates anywhere from 120, 130 frames all the way up to 160, 170 frames per second. So I'm, for the most part, hitting that 144 hertz refresh rate on triple monitors at 1080p all the time with a GTX 1080. Now they get expensive. So it's all in what you want. Also, if you have a GPU that will get over a 60 hertz refresh rate, you really need to consider having monitors that also have a higher refresh rate, because you'll introduce what's called screen tearing. And in some cases, that screen tearing looks worse than the jitters you get from a low refresh rate. So, you know, the idea here is to find out what your goal is. Where are you trying to get to? And then kind of use that basis to know what you want. So hopefully that helped anybody that was wondering that. And I think maybe I've just got I got a few more of these. We'll keep rolling here. This is going to get long, I think. Have a sip of my little juice here. I don't drink often, guys, and I don't condemn or condone drinking and driving for sure, but it's my birthday and I'm not driving anywhere, so I'm not even on the sim rig tonight because I have it tore apart from the video I was trying to make earlier. So, okay, this was a good one. This one was from my AccuForce unboxing. Now, I've waited for a long, long time, guys, to get my hands on a direct drive wheel because they're awesome. And I was very excited about that. Those of you who have seen that video know that. And I may have very well been overexcited a little bit. I let my excitement get the best of me. I've said that before in a couple other videos. And I took it a little bit too far by really dogging on Thrustmaster equipment and kind of dogging on the conventional consumer equipment. And I shouldn't have done that because Thrustmaster products are good. The Evo 599 Alcantara rim that I tossed, like not even on purpose, but I tossed it on the ground. That's a good rim. I've used it for a long time and I still really like that rim. It's a great rim. I'm going to use it again when I get my second rig set up. You know, and so this guy's video said, or this guy's comment said, it's okay to be excited, but keep it humble, just saying ... And he's right. It's one thing to get excited about a new piece of equipment, and it was not my intention to like rub it in anybody's face. I was just excited about it. But yeah, you have to remember that even if you can afford really, really expensive equipment, which technically I can't, but I got one anyways, and luckily my wife didn't kick me out of the house. You know, even if you can get that kind of equipment, you have to remember that not everybody can. But what I want to say about that is, for argument's sake, my excitement is because there is no comparison. As good as Thrustmaster products are, as good as Fanatic products are, they're really, really good. There's no competition between a consumer wheel and a direct drive wheel. They're just better. You know, that's not me being a jerk. That's not me being funny. There's nothing. Talk to anybody who has one, regardless of the brand. It doesn't matter the brand. A direct drive wheel is just a better wheel. And that's obvious because even Fanatic realizes they need to get into that technology, which is why the new direct drive wheels are coming out from them. You know what I mean? And so even the developers, or not the developers, but even these companies that create these force feedback wheels, they even understand that direct drive is the future, and that is why they are making some as well. And the good thing about that is the more people that make direct drive wheels, the more to bring the price down for the general consumer to afford. So if I went about that the wrong way, I do apologize. I just kind of, like I said, let the excitement get the best of me. I generally try to stay humble. I didn't mean not to stay humble, but I'm glad this guy, he called me out on it. And I'm glad he did because, you know, you shouldn't be like that. So Thrustmaster products are good. Nothing wrong with Thrustmaster products. Definitely nothing wrong with Fanatic. I think overall Fanatic is better than Thrustmaster, but I do think my direct drive wheel is better than both of them for now. You never know what will happen in the future. And if you have the money to drop on a direct drive wheel, regardless of what brand you buy, you definitely should get one because it's really, really awesome. Okay, so now this either came from that same unboxing video, or it may have come from the first look video. I think it came from the first look video, but this person, his name is I think him. He or she, their name is It's DK, and they're asking what pedals are compatible with this. That's a really good question. They're asking what pedals, because obviously it doesn't come with pedals, what pedals are compatible with AccuForce V2? And the answer to that is, on the PC, any set of pedals that have their own USB input, which I would say is 95% of them. Most pedals on the market, unless they're a very budget set of pedals, but anything consumer grade or better, talking about your T3PAs, T3PA Pros, both of the Fanatic pedals, the V3s and the Club Sport pedals, and you know, the list goes on and on and on. I think maybe even the Logitech pedals, but don't quote me on that. As long as they have a plug, a USB connection coming out of the pedals themselves, and you can directly plug them into your PC and you don't have to plug them into the wheelbase, as long as that is true, you can use those pedals with the AccuForce. Basically, they will match up with anything. It will think of the AccuForce as its own input and the pedals as a separate input, and they don't talk to each other at all. They're like separate controllers. So any wheel or any set of pedals you want will work with the AccuForce as long as it's got a USB. And we've got to be getting to the end of these pretty soon because I'm losing my voice, I think. So let's see here. Okay, two more. Two more and we'll close this out. So This guy's name is funny. This is Ants on My Wiener. That's hilarious. He asked, are you using an ART cockpit? How's that working? So he is referring to the AccuForce again. Probably he is referring to the first look because I had gameplay. So I do use a GT Omega ART cockpit. I've used that cockpit for a long time. Very happy with it. The RS6 seat that comes with the ART cockpit is like super comfortable. I would dare say it's more comfortable than the racing style seat that's in my Focus ST. Honestly, it's really, really comfortable. I can sit there for hours and hours with no issues. Also, it's very adjustable and all that good stuff. So it's been a great cockpit. However, that being said, the ART has met its match, I do believe, with a direct drive wheel, because when that thing is outputting the kind of forces that it can, it is definitely causing some side-to-side vibration. And not even a vibration, it's a swaying effect. Just because it's not sturdy enough to hold the power back of that direct drive. That causes two issues. Eventually, it rattles things in the chassis or in the cockpit, so I have to constantly tighten things back up. The other thing that it does too is any movement that you have in the chassis really reduces the feeling of that force feedback. So as strong as the AccuForce feels to me right now, it's nowhere near what it would feel if I had it on a more solid chassis. So yes, I am running a GT Omega ART, and is it working? Yes, but not as good as it could, and I am going to be upgrading that pretty soon, probably early in 2019. So it'll work for now, but I will be upgrading it. If you're looking for a chassis and you're planning on getting a direct drive wheel sometime in the near future, I would skip the ART and probably go with something like the GT Omega Pro, or there are some other brands out there that are even better than that. So let's see here. This is the last one. Yep, last one that I got here, and this is from Lars Rupert. And he is also asking on a question about my first look video, and he is asking, did you notice a difference in lap times, faster, slower, or the same? So he's asking me, have I had a decrease in my lap time since I've been using a direct drive wheel? And honestly, I don't think so. I haven't sat down and done a direct comparison of running with my TSPC Racer and then running a back-to-back with the AccuForce. I also haven't noticed, most sims will tell you if you break a specific record with a car and a track combination, and that's happened a few times. I don't think, I don't think that's been relative to the AccuForce really. I think that's just me being faster, and I also think that probably has a lot to do with the pedals I'm using now, which I will talk about in the pedal review when I can ever get that thing done. No, I mean, I hate to say that. I don't think the AccuForce is going to make you faster. I think it makes it more fun. I think it makes it a little bit more realistic. I think it allows you to catch slides better. I think it has made me slightly more consistent from lap to lap to lap because there's more detail in the force feedback, but I don't think it's made me any faster, and that's just the honest truth. But I didn't pick up the AccuForce to think, I didn't think it was going to make me faster. I just wanted that extra immersion. I wanted that just direct drive feeling. I mean, it's just a better force feedback. There's nothing lost in belts and things like that. So no, I don't think it made it faster, but I still think it's well worth the price. It really ups your game. It really puts you on a different level as far as sim racing goes. Will it make you faster? Maybe over time because it makes you more accurate. I don't know. It's really hard to tell. I would have to run this thing for like a year to be able to really confirm whether that's the case. And yeah, so at that point, maybe I'll make a video on that. But that's going to be it, guys. This went really, really wrong. Not wrong, really, really long, sorry. I think that's all I've got. I've got no more questions. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get some sleep, and maybe if I get up in time and I have enough time, now that I've got my new camera set up, I may try to at least start the V3 pedal review again. Oh my gosh, I've got to do everything over again. But yeah, so I may start that tomorrow. We'll see. I really probably wouldn't expect that thing to be done until sometime next weekend. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. I kind of enjoy doing these from time to time when I just chat with you guys and kind of go over comments. So I'll probably do more of these in the future. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you have any questions about anything I discussed or anything we got going on, like I said, let me know in the comments. That's going to be it, guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me for this video, and we'll see